Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Health Formula Show. Now, if you are eating clean, if you are working on your gut, if you are balancing your hormones, and you're still feeling tired, you are feeling bloated, you are feeling anxious, or just inflamed, you might be missing something deeper. And today, I want to talk about a huge blind spot when it comes to your health. And that is heavy metal toxicity. So this episode is going to be about breaking down what heavy metal toxicity actually is, where it comes from, the 7 weird but very common signs that we see in practice, why most people never get tested properly, and how we test at Synergized without guesswork, because that's not what we do, or overwhelm or confusion, because your symptoms might not be what they seem, and the root cause might actually be hiding in plain sight. Now, most people think that heavy metal toxicity only affects people in extreme environments, like perhaps factory workers or people living near industrial waste, but the reality is that couldn't be further from the truth. We are all exposed every single day in, day out, from the mercury in fish to the metal fillings in your teeth to aluminum in deodorants to cooking foil. To lead in old pipes, to arsenic in rice and tap water, to pesticides, to pollution, to makeup. The list goes on. It all adds up at the end of the day. Now, I'm going to give you a stat that will blow your mind, because the average baby, are you ready for this, is born with over 200 industrial chemicals already in their umbilical cord blood before they've even taken their first breath. So imagine what builds up over decades of living. And by the way, I will link up the studies in today's show notes for you to see at paulabenedict.com/episode 366. And aluminium has also been found in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. Yet, we are still using it in deodorants. And we're still cooking with foil every single day. How's that possible? Heavy metals are everywhere. They block detox pathways. They certainly disrupt your hormones, and they damage your mitochondria, right? And so remember that the mitochondria is that part of your cells that make energy, and most people have no idea it's happening. And then they question why on earth they just don't feel like their best self. So let's talk about symptoms. Here are the 7 weird but very common signs that we see in our practice, and how metals can really play a big part in each one of them. Okay, so let's start with unexplained fatigue. And this is probably the most common one. And as I mentioned, heavy metals like mercury and lead, what they do is that they damage your mitochondria. And your mitochondria are those very tiny power plants in your cells that make energy. So when they are not working properly, you are not working properly. You are going to feel tired no matter how much you sleep. And your cells are literally exhausted on a cellular level. And just so you know, you can actually assess your mitochondrial function with a very easy at-home lab test. It's a urine test, and we use it at Synergized all the time. It's called the organic acid test. And it's honestly unbelievable how often we see clear signs of mitochondrial dysfunction in people who also have high levels of heavy metal toxicity on their hair tissue mineral analysis test. So just last week, actually, I was reviewing the lab of one of my female clients. She is 59, and it's crazy because nearly every single marker for mitochondrial function was off. And in her case, it wasn't just heavy metals. She also had been exposed to mold for many years, which was clearly contributing to that toxic load. And it was really impacting her energy levels, big time. She could sleep 8 hours, even 9 hours, take all the right supplements. She was eating very clean, but her energy was terrible. Like she just couldn't feel energized. And it all traced back to her mitochondria. And if you do want to run these labs yourself, by the way, you can find all of these labs at paulabenedict.com/labs. Everything is done from home. And it's honestly one of the most empowering things that you can do for your health. Next, we have brain fog. So aluminium and mercury can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and they create neuroinflammation. So inflammation in the brain, which means problems with memory, problems with focus, processing, and clarity. And a lot of our clients say that they just feel like this fog. They can't think clearly. Like their brain is just not firing properly and they cannot figure out why. The third symptom that we see is skin issues. Remember that your skin is a detox organ at the end of the day. So when your liver is burdened with metals, your body will actually push out a lot of these toxins through the skin. And this can look like acne, it can look like eczema, it can look like rashes that just won't go away. Even when you clean up your diet and even when you clean up your skincare, it doesn't matter. Next, we have mood swings or even anxiety, to be honest, because heavy metals directly affect your nervous system. Like big time. They interfere with how your brain makes and actually balances neurotransmitters. Like mercury and cadmium are especially linked to anxiety and emotional reactivity. So if you feel like you are on this emotional roller coaster, you're always fired up, your nervous system is just hyperactive and you cannot figure it out, this could be why. Next, we have digestive issues. Metals actually disrupt your gut microbiome. So it leads to dysbiosis, it leads to bloating, to constipation, recurring candida as well. And they also overload your liver and your gallbladder. So it makes it much harder to digest fats, even healthy fats, and eliminate properly. And this creates more toxins sitting in your gut, so it feeds the cycle. It becomes this vicious cycle. Next, we have hormone imbalances. So heavy metals, they act as an endocrine disruptor. So that means that they mess with your estrogen, they mess with your cortisol, with your thyroid especially, and so many more. They deplete minerals like zinc, like selenium, all of those that your hormones, they need to function properly. And this can then lead to irregular cycles. It can lead to low libido, to PMS symptoms. And one of the big ones that we see in practice is fertility issues. Next, we have tingling or numbness. So, the pins and needles that you feel in your hands or your feet, that's often a neurological sign of heavy metal toxicity, especially mercury and lead. So these metals can actually impair your nerve function and they can trigger symptoms that feel very weird and random, but they are not really weird and random. And here's the moment that I see all the time in practice. So if you're someone who's constantly tired, foggy, bloated, anxious, and if you've tried to fix your gut, if you've tried to balance your hormones, and you're still stuck, you really need to look at your heavy metals because this could actually be the missing piece. And the wildest thing is that this is not just happening in people that are eating junk, like eating junk food or working around chemicals. I have seen this in the cleanest eaters. I have seen this in wellness coaches. I have seen this in yoga teachers, people who eat organic and are still dealing with the fatigue or with the hormonal chaos. Why? Because the toxic load has not been addressed. And one of my clients, she was told that she had PCOS, but her cycles were totally regular. So she had hormonal acne, lots of mood swings, and lots of fatigue. And then when we ran that hair test, arsenic and aluminium were through the roof. So what did we do? Well, we supported her detox pathways. We put her on a really, solid heavy metal detox protocol. And 6 weeks later, her skin was clear, her energy was back, and she just felt like a completely different woman. So something that a lot of people don't know is that blood tests only show what's in your bloodstream, like right now, right this second. They don't show what is stored deep in your tissues. And this is why the hair tissue test is so important, because this is where the heavy metals build up on over time. And that is why we use that, the hair sample, the hair toxic and essential elements test, because it gives us a 3-month view into your internal toxic load. So it's like a soft tissue biopsy. Like, it's simple, it's non-invasive, and it's incredibly insightful, because it doesn't just show like the heavy metals like mercury and arsenic and aluminum. It also shows your mineral ratios, which are very important for your thyroid, for your adrenals, for your detox pathways, all of that. It's one of my absolute favorite tests for truly finding like real root causes. And when you run those tests through Synergized, like, we are not just giving you a PDF of numbers. Every single lab test at Synergized comes with a free 30-minute consultation with a practitioner. It comes with a personalized wellness plan, anywhere between 4 to 6 to 12 weeks. It gives you guidance on what to eat, what to avoid, how to detox properly, everything. And that, my friends, is how you detox and rebalance your body again. So if this episode made you think, wait, this could actually be me, you're not alone. And if it truly made you think of someone who is always tired, who is foggy, and they've just been told that it's all in their head, please, please, please share this episode with them, because it could be the missing piece of the puzzle. And if you're ready to stop guessing, just head over to paolabenedict.com/labs to learn more about our labs. But again, you can purchase these labs elsewhere. It doesn't have to be through Synergize. I just want to be here to provide you that option. And don't forget that next week's episode is going to be a big one, because I'm going to be talking about all on how to detox from heavy metals safely, including the top foods and the best supplements, and how to actually support your body without doing anything that is like extreme. No juice cleanses or water fasts, none of that. It's going to be a game changer. So make sure that you are following the show, subscribe so you don't miss that episode. And before you go, take a moment to acknowledge yourself for wanting to become the healthiest version of yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Before you head off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a weekly episode. We cover everything from functional medicine to gut health, hormones, weight loss, skin health, natural beauty, you name it. All the topics that truly matter. And if there's something that you would love me to cover, just drop it in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.